are very few. Like if you were an African American woman in East Texas, you could either work at the Walmart or at the nursing home, and that was about it. And so I was trying to recognize the fact that I actually had a choice of what I did for a living and what I did with my life, and was really fortunate to always find a job where I could basically raise hell, and that's what I set about doing.
And did your mother ever? Were there ever moments where your mother told you to pull back, or
yeah, like why can't I get a regular job like other people? Yeah, no, she was like most
because she was, as you said, she was when you were young. She was a housewife. She hadn't yet broken those bonds.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah, no, she was conflicted, and she was raised in a time in Texas when women didn't do a lot of things, and so I think she had her own challenges. Actually, it's kind of funny. My family is here. I fell in love with another union organizer in New Orleans, Kirk Adams, who his family's here, and he's actually first taking care of the dog tonight, so he's not here yet to meet him. So Kirk was just like me, and still is, and we've been married for, God knows, more than 30 years now, and been making trouble together for a long, long time. But I think my mom was like, as one of her friends said, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor man. And I said, well, not for me, actually. And so there were times I think she thought maybe I could have gone a different route, but I think at the end of the day she was happy that I was doing what I was doing, and we were really close.
You said, I just want to read this quote you said, which I think for a lot of people, Ann Richards was enormous inspiration. I worked for the New Habits campaign, and I was on the floor of the convention when she gave that incredible speech.
Right.
You wrote, whenever I'm up against something really tough, I bring Ann Richards with me.
Yeah.
And I just sort of would love to hear this sort of way that once she started running for public office, and you were sort of in some ways moving on the same track at the same time, right? Because you were then out of. Were there particular words of wisdom that she gave you as you were making those choices?
Well, I think the thing about Mom, and for those of you who didn't know her, she wasn't patient, and particularly by the time she got free, she, I think, regretted, she felt like she spent a lot of her life doing what was expected of her, and she was absolutely determined to make sure no other woman did that didn't have to. And so I think she, a lot of her lessons are things that I talk about in the book, which was, for God's sake, every new opportunity, you had to take it and go for it. And, whenever I was facing something, and I talk about in the book when I, almost didn't go to the interview at Planned Parenthood, I was, like, I can't do that. I was thinking, I don't have that experience, and why would they want me? And all the kinds of lessons, I think, takes that women have in their head. And so I was literally about to, cancel, and I ran into a coffee shop and did what any grown woman would do. I called my mother, and she was having none of it. She said, Cecile, get a grip. This is the most important organization in the country for women's health. You will never forgive yourself if you didn't, if you don't try this. And what's the worst thing that can happen? That was always the place that she got me, right? But, and I heard her say that to so many women over the years of just, this is the only life you have. And so, and if you're waiting till somebody taps you on the shoulder and said, you're the one, because that never happened to her. When she ran for governor, none of it. She said, it's just not going to happen. So I think she would love this era right now with women who are, as we say, starting before they're ready, right? They're not waiting, they're not asking permission, not waiting to see. 40,000 women in this country have now raised their hand on Emily's list and said, I want to be trained to run for
She helped get that ball rolling. I mean, she
completely. Yeah. I mean, that was the other thing. I think there's all this mythology about women that, they don't, they kind of get where they're going. They leave it. Mom was like the biggest believer in, once you get that door open, you can't be the first if you're going to be the last. You have to bring everybody along with you. And that's what she did. And that's what I'm seeing women do now in just record numbers. This doesn't relate to Mom so much, but we've seen not only the Women's March, the largest marches in the history of the United States of America, right? But then now we've seen women, wildcat striking, women teachers all across this country for public education, and they've been inspired by the Women's March, right? And we see like women running for office, Black women electing the first Democratic senator in 25 years from the state of Alabama. I mean, just things that are really like not waiting for the playbook or waiting for the right time.
Right.
That was it. That was Ann Richards, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about the decision when they came calling and asked you to run Planned Parenthood. I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about making a choice like that, which is, you know, a big decision and an exciting decision, but also a scary one, and as we all know, a potentially dangerous one. And I think, you know, for all of us who are either newly engaged or, you know, finding our own way to be activists or thinking about putting ourselves out there, I'd love to hear you talk about the decision to put yourself in the way of danger to stand up for your principles and the choices you make when you have a family, whether or not you have a family to consider, but the sort of thought process in making that kind of choice in your life.
Well, I'm pretty impulsive, so I don't think I ever really thought about everything before I took the job. But I also, I mean, Mom was right. Planned Parenthood, I mean, just like 10 seconds here on Planned Parenthood. Yeah, this is an organization that 1 in 5 women in this country have been to for health care, including me, right? Back when I was at Brown, that was the only place you could go, really, for reproductive health care. And so I think that the opportunity outweighed any danger. And the truth is, I just have always felt like if you aren't pissing somebody off, you're not really doing enough, not doing your job. And Planned Parenthood, you know, it did give me a lot of opportunity to do that. But so, you know, so did organizing low-wage workers in Los Angeles and New Orleans. I think, look, I will say, I don't want to minimize the danger that doctors, the danger that clinicians all across this country who provide reproductive health care to women, the danger that they face. And when people ask me who are my heroes and heroines, it's the folks that get up every day and walk through picket lines and walk through protesters and provide health care. So, for me, and my friend, one of my good friends is here, Barbara Edelin, who, and her late husband, Dr. Ken Edelin, one of the bravest men I ever had the honor to know. And so the danger to me was never, it wasn't that, it was how do we protect the folks out there on the